You are
Hello?
now on with Ruckus. Who am I speaking with?
Garrett Wilson.
Welcome,
what's up,
Mr.
Garrett?
Wilson. Joining
Hey,
us
how
now,
are
if
you?
you're just now tuning in, we are joined by Garrett Wilson, who is fighting on September 20th in Cruiserweight Division against the Viso Mchumnu. Thank you for calling in and joining us.
Not a problem at all.
Excellent. So you have this fight coming up. You know, for those of you who are familiar with your career, this fight was supposed to happen a while ago, but you suffered an injury to your Achilles. What has the road to recovery and getting back up for this fight been like for you?
It's been quite a journey because an Achilles injury is not one that you can kind of just, jump right back in there with. I've had injuries before that, kind of like, it's an injury, but I'm okay. I can still do it. So, I kind of had to take my time and work things out and make sure that everything is everything before I even signed up for another fight.
Right. When a fighter, half of the fight is, movement. How have you, what has the rehabilitation been like just to get that mobility back in your feet to perform at a top level? What did you do?
Well, the beginning aspects of it is just, it was, for the average person, it would be very defeating because it's not, like I said, it's not something that you can just kind of like, well, I'm gonna kind of push it more than I usually can. It's something that you really have to take your time to really rehab it correctly, and then at the same time hope that it heals correctly because not all Achilles injuries heal correctly. So, with or without surgery, but I've taken every step possible. I've talked to professionals. I've talked to sports injury therapists. Did some online research, some Googling, YouTube, exercise, everything possible to try to make this injury heal back better than it was before.
Right.
Garrett, how many days has it been since the tear?
Say it one more time.
How many days has it been since the tear? Or I don't know if you're counting, but what estimate?
It's been over like 8 months now.
Oh, okay. So when would you say that your mobility, was no longer bothering you?
I guess I would say about June. June was kind of like my point where I didn't feel any pain or any pressure on that particular area. I didn't want to take too much of a chance in June because, like I said, I felt good, but I didn't want to chance it and then having re-injure it. So, but at the same time, I felt pretty good by June.
When did you start sparring again?
Like July. It's like July.
And was there any kind of ring rust there for you, or were you just able to just get right back into it?
Well, because of that particular injury, it's constantly on your mind. It's not an injury that you can kind of not forget about right off the bat, but it's kind of on your mind, so you don't want to put too much pressure on it. Even when you feel as though it's fully healed, and the experts say that it's pretty much fully healed, it's still on your mind, so you don't want to put too much pressure on it, so it kind of takes you back as far as the way you move. Like, normally I would shift my weight back and forth, kind of leap in the air and all types of stuff, but having an injury kind of calmed me down and made me fight more of a boxer's type of fight, which actually is the fight I'm planning on fighting anyway, but the injury is a blessing in disguise because it made me fight more, because it was my left foot, it made me kind of fight on my right, my weight in the back, instead of being front loaded and leaping with hooks and and overhand rights. So, it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, so could you clarify how you think or you want to fight Thabiso Munchunu?
Well, I'm not limited to one in particular style of fighting. I have many different styles that I can choose from. Most of the time I just choose to be the aggressor and be, extra strong, and it's an exciting style. It's fun for me to do all of that. But at the same time, for this particular fight, I believe that I'm going to just box. I'll try my best to outbox him. If not, just knock him out. But nonetheless, I'm going to outbox him. I'm not worried about him outboxing me. I'm pretty confident in my boxing ability. I've proven it over and over again in the gym. So, and as well as in fights, certain fights I've had where I proved my boxing ability as well. But for the most part, I plan on outboxing.
How familiar are you with him?
Not very. I mean, my coach does all the studying and brings what's needed to the table. Everything that I will experience with him, I'll experience when I get in the ring with him. I don't really study fighters. I let my coach study the fighters and bring to the table what I need, what the things I need to handle certain situations that he may bring.
Yeah, but you at least know that he's a counter puncher, right? That
right.
Tends to not want to engage, and it made it very difficult for Eddie Chambers to fight him. And I know you're friends with Eddie, so have you talked to Eddie about him?
No, not yet. Eddie's been, for the most part, Eddie's been overseas, so I haven't really had a chance to talk to Eddie that much. But
yeah, he's back now. I think I saw.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. But no, I didn't really talk to him on this particular fight. But at the same time, like I said, my team, I got a team behind me that has a great, strategist, great. Basically, my team, I believe that we're able to take care of anything that may arise.
Okay, speaking of the team, I know your home gym is Marion Anderson in South Philly, but I think I saw you at Joe Hand working with
Danny Davis.
Danny Davis, yeah. So what changes have you made to your team?
I haven't really made any changes to my team. I just add on, things that I may be lacking, or I'm the type of person that I take advice. I'm not too big or too grand to say, oh, I knew this already. Don't tell me. I take advice and I discuss it with my team, and we figure out what we can use and what we can't use, because, like you said, I'm versatile. So, I mean, like I said, I didn't change anything in my team. It's still me, Rodney Rice. I added on Mr. Charles Ramey, also known as Cornbread. Danny Davis helped me out for the first few weeks of strength and conditioning. I also have help from Brother Nazim Richardson. I have help from Sharon Baker. I also have help from Billy Briscoe. I have my team isn't just limited to my coach. It's, I have a lot of Philadelphia coaches around that help me out and give me advice and doing certain things I need to do.
Cool. Let's go back to your last fight, Tsar Glaskov. It was also on NBC, which this fight is going to be again. Do you feel kind of blessed that you get to fight on, one of the main network television stations?
Absolutely. The Tsar Glaskov fight, that's like, I love boxing. This is my passion. This is my love. That was just fun. I know it sounds kind of crazy for me to say that this top 10 rated heavyweight who's been knocking everybody out was fun, but that's what it was. It was fun. I wasn't prepared for this fight. I didn't study for glass golf in those 2-3 days that they gave me, it was just like, oh, cool. This guy is a big guy. He's knocking everything out. Let's see what he can do against me. And I came at him on just raw power, not even on no skill, just raw power, and just for fun.
Yeah, he kind of did like a complete 180 on his style. He fought you the way that Malik Scott fought him. And then he blamed Malik Scott running on why Malik didn't win, but hey, it worked for him, so it's but that's another subject. Yeah, so how'd you feel in that fight? I think it was closer than the judges might have had it, and it was only 10 rounds. Do you think it would have been different over 12 rounds?
I know for a fact. My track record proves it. 12 rounds seems to be my number for the Chuck Masaccio fight and also for the Andre Taylor fight. But 10 rounds, that's like my first time going 10. I think I went, that's my first time going 10. I'm used to doing 12. I went from 4 to 6, did like 2 or 3 8 rounds, then did 12. So that was like my first time doing 10 rounders. So I guess I kind of was still mind state-wise reserving my energy for the 11th and 12th round, but which obviously never came.
All right, man. Excellent.
Since you're fighting, I have a quick question just about the cruiserweight division as a whole. Over here, it seems like cruiserweight, while it's still a viable division, it gets a little lost between so much shine being placed on the heavyweight division with Klitschko, and now we have Bermane Stiverne, a more stateside champion, and then you have a light heavyweight division. You've got Bernard Hopkins and that whole media frenzy going with that. How, in your role in the cruiserweight division, do you feel like you can bring more attention and more excitement to a weight class that American fans have not been given the proper acknowledgement like some of the other heavier weight divisions?
Well, I believe that in the heavyweight division, for the most part, people are looking for a big knockout, big punches, big knockouts. Cruiserweight division aren't too many really big punchers that's like knocking everybody out, but it's like kind of a mix. But at the same time, we don't have, because we're not that popular, they don't really want to give us a chance to be able to shine on any network except for NBC. NBC finally giving us a chance to have a chance to shine. My fight with Glasgow was an opportunity for the people to see who I am, even though it was in the heavyweight division, for them to get a chance to see that, yes, a cruiserweight can compete with a heavyweight, but at the same time, I am a cruiserweight. But now I have a chance to show my skill level opposed to just brute force. And also, Manchuni was a great fighter. He's a great fighter. I give him all the respect in the world. I think that he's also great for the cruiserweight division as well. I'm not sure if Eddie's still fighting cruiserweight, but even him, he's great for the cruiserweight division if he is still fighting cruiserweight, as well as certain other guys. There aren't that many of us that's making major noise here in the U.S. The cruiserweight division is mainly in overseas.
Have you ever considered, moving your career overseas, or have you always wanted to make your mark right here on American soil?
Well, I have no problem going overseas. It's just, I have a family here. I don't want to uproot my family and go overseas. And also I have to learn different languages and things of that nature. I don't want to just spur of the moment, just up and just go overseas and just like uproot my family, unless I take a chance to familiarize myself with whatever area I choose to move into, learn the language, the local languages, and also the languages around the area that I will move into. But for the most part, I want to stay here in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is where I'm from. Philadelphia is who loves me. That's the world loves me now. But Philadelphia is where I'm from.
If you win this fight, it's going to be a pretty big upset. Manchunu is rated number 2 by the WBC, I believe, and So if you beat him, you probably take his spot. And the number one guy is Rakim Chikaev. And, you know, he already had the chance at the world champion, Krzysztof Wlodarczyk. So then you're in a situation where it's number one versus number two. If you win that fight, then you're in the mandatory for the WBC title.
Well, the reality is, to me, this is the thing. I fought in the IBF Eliminator. That's what vacated me on my belt. I never lost my belt to anybody. That's the main thing that you have to realize. I never lost my belt to anybody. I lost in the Eliminator, but I never lost my belt to anybody. So it's only right that they give me a chance to fight for the belt again. But at the same time, I once I win this fight, hopefully the organization will recognize that, and like you said, give me a chance to fight in a final eliminator for Krzysztof's belt.
Yeah, man. Best of luck to you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Not a problem at all.
All right, so for those listening in, of course, Garrett will be fighting on September 20th on NBC. And for those who want to follow your career and keep up with you, where can they find you on social media and keep up with you and your career?
I'm on Facebook as Garrett Wilson GQ. You can follow me on Instagram as Ultimate Warrior GQ. You can follow me on Twitter as G_Warrior.
All right, there we have it. We have someone who is dialing into the show. I'm not sure if he has a question for you, so we're going to mute him. So I thank you because I know it's pretty late where you are and you want to get back at it. So thank you once again for tuning into the show. We look forward to seeing you fight on September 20th.
Not a problem. Thank you very much.
All right, take care. You're welcome.